So right now we're looking at the Jackson Brewery. What you see up there at the top of this building, you see Jackson Brewery in stone. Below that, you see Kleiner Brothers. Now Kleiner Brothers were the guys who built this building. Kleiner Brothers are kind of your typical 48ers. Those guys came from Prussia, which is in an area that's now part of Germany today. Their family had owned breweries for generations. They actually were really rich guys. But then when the revolt started and the revolution came in 1848, they supported the democratic movement. And as a result, they got blacklisted in Prussia. They had all their assets, their brewery, all their money seized by the government. So these guys that had grown up rich brewers then wound up being broke. And so they decided to come to the United States to start over. So they came over here with no money and they worked waiting jobs, kind of low-wage jobs for a while. They saved up enough money to buy a really small shack of a brewery that was down here below us. They grew that, and then right after the Civil War, they built this structure. So this went up, well, towards the end of, at the end of the Civil War. I'm blanking on the exact year, but I think 1864, 65 is what I've determined. Now what we're going to do right now is walk into this building. It was going through extensive renovations the past couple of years, a lot of point work on the outside of it to fix decades of deteriorating brick. So all of that was done, and there was a brand new roof on this structure, and it was really coming together as a stable building again. And then some jackass came in here and set it on fire. So we're going to take a walk in right now and take a little look at what's going on with the building at the moment. So, skylight that definitely should not be there. This door right here would take us down to the lagering cellars that we were in just a minute ago. Just kind of back part of the brewery. So again, you typically do not get this tour on the actual tour of the building. So I'll give you a little bit of trade-off by adding some stuff in here that we wouldn't have in a typical brewery tour, by taking you places that would not be safe for me to take you ordinarily. Fortunately, my safety is valued little by anybody. So this is all part of the original framing of the brewery. It was very fortunate. They considered this a total loss when it was first, when they first came in here and looked at it after the fire. And the city actually was trying to make plans to tear this down within 24 hours of the fire. Fortunately, that's not what happened. And so the owner of this brewery, a guy named Fred Berger, he's the one that had put all the money into doing the restoration of it, stabilization of it. He's continuing to do that. A building like this is almost impossible to insure, actually. So there was no casualty insurance on this building. The hundreds of thousands of dollars that he put into this building to stabilize it all went up with the flames of it. So he's having to put that money back in for stabilization. What we're looking at right now, what we see here on the ground is some work that's been done just to try to make sure that these walls don't blow over. That may sound ridiculous. They look very sturdy, but this old kind of 19th century sort of soft mortar construction, if you don't have strong timbers in here, your walls really are not that stable. So they've taken precautions right now to make sure that the walls don't blow down while they rebuild. This is what the view looks like outside of the Jackson Brewery. Really nice view of downtown Cincinnati from up here. And you can see that despite, massive amounts of charring, fortunately, these beams were so thick that even with all of this charring, all of this burning, this incredible amount of heat, they still managed to actually hold the walls up. They're obviously not going to do that forever, and all of this needs to be replaced. But the construction itself, was strong enough that, as well as the work that had been done to it recently, that this building is going to survive, but it's going to cost a massive amount of money to bring it back to what it used to be. You can see here on the wall, everything that's here charred on this wall, this is actually cork. So that's what they used to do for insulation in these 19th century brewery buildings. They would line the walls with cork. I would imagine this originally was probably something like 3 to 4 inches of cork, just like cork panels on the side of it. So all these things that look like charred block, all of that's cork. Once upon a time, that sported a huge sign on the outside of the building. So we're at the top floor of the building. I'm not taking you any farther than this because I, in fact, do care if I live or die. But this is the top of it. Used to be some really cool spaces in here before the fire. You can see back here, this is a cold water tank. So part of the original brewing operations right here. And this has been the Jackson Brewery. I'm going to get back down out of here safely. You guys go drink a cold beer.